What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Record Rift. I'm your name, and today, we're diving into the ancient world of the Spartans. You've seen them in movies like 300, but how much of what Hollywood portrays is actually true? Spoiler, not much. We're about to take a look at what the real Spartans were like, and what Hollywood gets totally wrong. Let's set the stage. The Spartans were a fierce and highly disciplined warrior society in ancient Greece, known for their military prowess and their rigorous training system. Their home, Sparta, was a city-state that valued strength, endurance, and loyalty above all else. Now, if you've seen 300, you're probably imagining a bunch of muscle-bound, leathery warriors screaming, "This is Sparta!" But there's a lot more to the story. So, what did Hollywood get wrong? Let's break it down. First off, the Spartans weren't all walking around looking like they just stepped out of a bodybuilding competition. Sure, they were fit and strong, but the Hollywood version of Spartan bodies, ripped to the max and drenched in oil? Yeah, that's more fantasy than history. In reality, the Spartan warriors were athletic, but their strength came from rigorous military training, not from posing in front of a mirror. Their diet? Nothing like the protein-packed meals in the movies. It was all about survival, endurance, and conditioning. Another thing Hollywood loves to emphasize is the idea that Spartans were always ready to fight to the death, no matter what. While they were indeed fierce warriors, they didn't go looking for death at every turn. Spartans were trained to be strategic. They didn't just throw themselves into battle for the sake of it. They were about efficiency, defeating their enemies with precision. The whole Spartans never retreat thing? Yeah, that's mostly a myth. Spartans retreated when they needed to, just like any smart army. Here's a big one: the idea that Spartan society was entirely dominated by men in the military. Sure, men were warriors, but that doesn't mean the women were just sitting on the sidelines. Spartan women were strong, independent, and had a unique role in society. They were responsible for managing the household and were often given more freedom than women in other Greek city-states. They were also trained in physical fitness to ensure they could bear strong children, who would grow up to become warriors. And yes, they did have a say in matters of politics, unlike women in most other parts of Greece. Hollywood loves to show Spartan kids undergoing brutal training at the Agoge, the Spartan education and military training program. While it was certainly tough, the movies tend to exaggerate the cruelty. Yes, Spartan boys were taken away from their families at a young age to train, but not all of it was as intense as the 300 portrayal. There was a strong emphasis on survival skills, discipline, and camaraderie. And while the Agoge was harsh by modern standards, it was designed to prepare young Spartans for the rigors of military life, not to just turn them into mindless killing machines. Now, 300 focuses heavily on the Battle of Thermopylae, where 300 Spartans famously held off the Persian Empire for 3 days. While this is rooted in history, there's a lot of dramatization, especially when it comes to the number of Spartans involved. The real number of Greek forces was much larger, somewhere around 7,000 soldiers, with Spartans making up about 300 of them. And they didn't go down in a dramatic last stand like the movie shows. The reality was a bit more complicated, with strategic retreats and other battles contributing to the outcome. So, there you have it. The Spartans were fierce, disciplined warriors, but Hollywood's portrayal? Not exactly historically accurate. The next time you watch 300, just remember, it's more about cinematic flair than historical truth. Hope you guys enjoyed this deep dive into the real Spartans. If you learned something new today, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Record Rift for more content like this. Let me know in the comments what other historical myths you'd like us to bust next. Until then, stay strong and never stop learning.